how does TikTok work from a B2B standpoint? And I guess maybe we could just unpack that a little bit more. I guess the first question, other than you just wanting to be the rebel, when people say, well, nobody's on TikTok, they're like,
Right.
well, okay, now I want to be on TikTok, right? What was the main triggering factor for you to get onto TikTok and use that as an avenue to get your message out there?
Well, everybody's on TikTok, relatively speaking, right? So they
Yep.
might not be there in a LinkedIn mentality to do work, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just like Facebook Reels. I mean, Facebook Reels has been really, really good now that I think a lot of people have left Facebook, right? So it's opened up the
Yeah.
organic space. So for me, um, I initially wanted to create it for a different audience, right? Like I wanted to talk more to the call center agent, but I'll be honest, like that was very difficult. There's so many jaded agents out there
Mm.
that no matter really what you did, everything kind of turned negative from a commenting standpoint. So I don't really want to do this. This isn't fun.
Yeah.
So and then I just I moved it to more not C-level people, but the contact center supervisor talking more about KPIs, talking about technology, things that a frontline supervisor manager would find interesting. And again, the selfish piece of creating content is, I think, creating it for different segments, creating it for, again, that C-level person, that front, for us from a call center standpoint, that front end or on floor supervisor, and then even talking about maybe team leads and getting into a little bit of the agent standpoint, because those guys are going to move up.
Yeah.
And this content thing takes time. This isn't sales. This is branding.
Right.
So, in 3 to 4 years, though, or in 2 to 3 years, or sometimes I found within 6 to 18 months, that frontline supervisor becomes the contact center manager who now is in charge of either outsourcing, they need consulting help, and what is the name to go to? And there's somebody that, again, I'm not saying I'm the end all be on this, but everybody knows where I stand on everything. I think there's enough content out there that I've created that you can kind of trust what I'm saying on certain topics.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of been I can't tell you, I mean, nobody will believe me, but my sales board that I have over to my left is absolutely packed, and 95% of it, I'm not saying it's from TikTok, is from TikTok, LinkedIn, and the podcast. That is where everything is at. I don't have a salesperson. Like we used to have salespeople. We have no salespeople. We've gone 100% to just creating content and then following up on those kind of leads. But anything that even comes on the website is now like, hey, I saw you on LinkedIn, or we saw you on LinkedIn, or hey, we're a big follower of the podcast. So again, there's a fun piece. Like it's the perfect thing for me. It's not expensive, right? I
Yeah.
enjoy doing it. I think
Yeah.
I can add some value to it. And selfishly, it is the way that we are, marketing our business from a B2B standpoint on all of these platforms. And again, I'm trying to be everywhere. So while I'll create, like right now, I'm recording this on my phone, right? And again, I'll use just little bits and pieces for snippets.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get everybody here in the office as well to do it. We're getting better at it, but just don't. I think the thing is, people create content to create content. They think, oh shit, what do I have to create today? What do I have to make?
Yeah.
Just record your day. Like people, and again, I can't do client things and I can't do hardcore meetings, but if I do talk to somebody, or if we're having a discussion, or if there's something that we're doing as a team here that I think could be interesting, that's not proprietary to a client or anything that we're doing, we're recording it, we're chopping it up, we're giving it to everybody to add value. And so if you can get to that mentality of just kind of recording or kind of putting your life like on camera, and then taking
Yeah.
out bits and moments that you think can add value, it takes away that what do I make today, because that's where
Yeah.
everybody
That's true.
stops.
Yeah, because it's kind of like with reality TV, right? Really bad example, but think about it. Reality TV is not reality TV because the cameras aren't on 24/7. We get to see what they want us to see, whereas there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes. So I really like that idea that if you just keep the camera rolling 24/7, then there is no limit to the amount of content that you can pull from. And I love the fact that you say you don't have salespeople, because we're trying to go the same route with our company as well. We're really focusing on a content creation engine, because we believe that buyers don't really buy from companies, they buy from people that they trust. So being able to create content, and especially on platforms like TikTok where everybody is, it creates more exposure for me as an individual. And then that relates back to, well, here's what I said about this, here's why I said it. And I also just so happen to work for this company that also fixes this issue. So it's such a unique and very contrarian belief in traditional sales, pounding the phone,
Right,
and sending out thousands of cold emails.
right.
But I really believe that not only does it bring in pipeline, but it brings in quality pipeline as well.
Yeah, and listen, but it's a mentality from higher ups, because you have to trust that the selfishness, and that's a bad word for it, but I keep using it. The selfishness of what you're doing will come in the end. It can never be forced. Like, anytime that I'm even like, I'll do something even as a BPO, like I'll almost say like, hey, this is kind of a sales thing, or this is like, I think when you start to even if you do like, you post half of a video or half of a blog, and like, hey, for more, if you want to read the whole thing, go to here, which is then a paywall that you have to give your email. Like the whole tricking people, I think, has gone out the window. And again, this is just it's a huge, I think being the owner, I'm so committed to my business that I do this. I don't know if I was if I was working for somebody, if I would, or if they would even allow me to do this. Like, nobody can tell me what I can do or what I can't do here. But I could see how, this really has to be a buy-in from the top all the way down, because if there's one hitch in it, that's not going to go. And then when you get sales involved, and when you have marketing and sales, and then they're talking about messaging, and I'm not saying that stuff's wrong, but I see it with the podcast. Like, people will come on and be like, hey, I want to do a pre-roll ad. I'm like, all right, awesome. Like, hey, will you read the pre-roll ad? I'm like, no problem. And then I read the pre-roll ad, and I'm like, guys, I'll put this on. But I'm like, what if I did this? And like, I did it more just me talking and like more genuine. They're like, no, listen, we have to stick with how our branding is, because we're going out and we're branding the whole way like this. And again, they know more about that than me, because they're $1 billion companies, and they've done something right. But I think for a smaller kind of grassroots, or under 100 million, under $200 million company, there's a lot of cool things you can do from a kind of a guerrilla warfare marketing standpoint.
Absolutely. And it's one of the things that I've enjoyed most about being part of a startup company as well, is we kind of look at, well, let's say you're familiar with Lavender, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
You see the way that they market too. Mm-hmm. They're all over TikTok as well. And you have people like Will Aitken, who just joined their team, Todd Clouser. They're posting. It's a little different, because a lot of the content that you post, like you said, you don't do a lot of the dances or the memes or anything.
Right.
You're more focused on, let me get these questions that are already being asked, this voice that I've already got, I want to put that out on TikTok. And they're a little bit more on the humor side.
Yeah.
But regardless of what the content is, I still think it's just an incredible vehicle to get more and more content out there. And I think what I'm learning with TikTok, like the one that I posted most recently that talks about AI in the contact center and how it's going to take our jobs, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Very controversial topic, of course. But what I'm learning is I can use TikTok to create the content, and it might not get a whole lot of engagement on TikTok, but once I put that out to my LinkedIn network, 5,000 impressions on one TikTok video. It's like, whoa, hang on a second. What?
Yep. And then you need to put that on Reels as well.
Yeah. Get on the Reels.
I struggle really everywhere else, even on Facebook or on YouTube and YouTube Shorts, but Facebook Reels it's been real. I mean, it's a little bit hit or miss, but I mean, there's some ones that I don't think are going to do anything. I just basically take that. And again, I don't know if you've heard I talked with Dave on that kind of LinkedIn Live. We talked about repurpose.io, and it's been like the godsend to me. So basically, I just create a workflow through TikTok. They don't have LinkedIn yet, but YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and basically it will then send it out to all the other social platforms in the right format. It'll take the watermarks off, Like and then you can kind of customize it for each of those. It's made things, and you can schedule it. So again, if you have one TikTok video, you can put it into different formats on LinkedIn, Reels, Shorts, YouTube, and it makes one piece of content. You'll go out to 10 different places, look a little bit different. So that's kind of how I think scaled a little bit quicker too, and it's like $12 a month, or it's some ridiculously cheap price too. But yeah, man, I just think people are very narrow-sighted in the B2B space. I think I have some, and again, I hate the word influencer, right? I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm trying to do as much as I can for my company, and then just to add value. And I get that maybe there's a following that's coming with that, which is awesome, and that's what I wanted. But there's not enough. There's not enough, contact center, call center, customer service, customer experience. I would say it's more. But for the hardcore call center, contact center person, I would love to go pay somebody who is in something in the outsourcing. There's nobody there. Like, I would pay an influencer tomorrow to do that. And now there are companies that are even coming to me. Like, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff when I'm at the next contact center conference, right? And do some videos and do some of those things. But there's just not enough of us kind of talking about what's going on because there's a hunger for it. There's so many people that want to hear about it that don't know about it, that nobody goes to college and says, I'm going to run a call center, or I'm going to be a call center manager. You fall into that and you don't know what the hell you're doing. So again, to be a voice to help those people, I think is super important and really cool, and get a ton of engagement. Speaking of that too, is Jacob, the thing that I liked on TikTok was even asking questions or posting those a little bit more provocative things is every single reply that I do, and I always just reply with another video. Those get the most amount of. The algorithm for sure is you're not seeing that.
No. I'm shaking my head in disbelief.
Oh yeah. The algorithm definitely favors that. That's what I've seen. Yeah. So those will go much. So those are gold for me. If anybody says anything cool or has a question, or even if it's a little bit negative, that I can kind of turn it around maybe. Those go for sure, and then again, that's more video for LinkedIn, because you just answered a question that somebody had, and now you're doing it on LinkedIn, and it's just this reoccurring thing that you're not creating. Again, nobody wants to think about, how do I create a video today? Like, I don't have time for that. Like, I'm not creating props, and I can't do that. But I think anything that can organically be turned into new content is, first of all, it's probably the most want to be viewed, because you're going to get the most value of it. If I just created something that's kind of funny, it's cool. But I'm trying to look at too, like TikTok wise, I want to do some, to do some stitches and to do some duets, with maybe a contact center agent that's doing things the right way, or maybe, but again, I get into the agent thing again, and it turns into, I'm like Mr. Boomer. I get called boomers, and so, but I don't know, like, there's so much that I'm not even tapping into, but just being on there, and then once you get to 1,000 followers, not that that's a magic number, but for them it's magic, because you can go live, right? And so, so that's everything that I'm doing, from any type of podcast, any type of anything. My phone is just up. It's on TikTok. I'm going live, answering questions on there too. So it's just another kind of avenue.
So let's look at the not so shiny side of TikTok and why everybody wants it banned. There's a lot of talk about, well, there's going to be facial recognition. Chinese government's trying to learn how to steal your identity. Is that ever a concern for you? Or
I think it's a concern. I think I wouldn't be throwing my credit card information on anywhere, right. But I don't know. I think. We look at Facebook and look at all the stuff that happened with Facebook, right? You look at, I have more information on LinkedIn than I have anywhere in the world. Like, if you want to know anything about me at any point, just go on my LinkedIn profile. You can find my phone number, my email, everything I've done. I don't know. I think I don't know enough about it from a security standpoint. If they're going to ban this stuff on like government stuff, I'm totally fine with it. I get it. But I just think, as a society, we're just so paranoid about all of this stuff. Now, granted, if they are really doing what they're saying, yeah, that's some things. That's some things. But again,
Yeah.
I think for how I'm using it, for what I'm using it for, I don't know. What are you going to get from me? Like, I don't know. I mean, unless again, like they say, if you can break into my phone and like steal everything, then yeah, maybe that's if I'm being super naive. But anything short of that, I mean, I'd rather have you have all of my information so that anything you give me is tailored to me than me having everything off and I'm going to get it anyway. And I think there's just a paranoia about not TikTok, because I think TikTok there's something there, right? Like, but I mean, even when they talked about Facebook, when they talk about Google, when they talk about all of your information being online, right? I mean, I get if a hack's a hack happens at a bank. I mean, I get that all the time. But again, I'd rather you have all my information, know everything you want to know about me, and then at least the ads I'm getting are something I may want. Other than just, me hiding everything. I don't know. It seems like I got other things to worry about, and maybe I'm totally naive on this. But for me, the cost benefit analysis of doing this, the benefit has been, so much worth, any type of small risk I might have of being out there. I mean, it's something that I'm willing to definitely do.
So here's another question, because we'll call it a podcast, but it's really a live discussion that we host every Tuesday. You may have heard of it, QA Live. You may have been on it.
Yeah.
Do you think that type of content could be repurposed well for TikTok if we just take a snippet from there in the same way that you would just putting out an ad on LinkedIn or just a company page post?
Yeah, you should do it. You should do it live on TikTok. I mean, when you get to that point, you should do it live there as well. All of your lives are recorded. You can download your lives, and then you can repurpose that. I mean, the answer is always the algorithm's going to tell you if it stinks or not, right? So don't overthink, should we do this or shouldn't? The answer is always yes. You should test it. You should try it. If it doesn't work, the algorithm and the audience will tell you it doesn't work. Then go back to the drawing board. But don't overthink it. A lot of that content is awesome stuff. And again, the more eyes and the more things that you can get on it, the better. And you're going to have duds. I have duds all, like, probably 60% of everything I post is a dud. But that 40% and then that 10% is worth all the 60% that, really don't resonate and I repost as well. Like, remember, we have audiences and followings, but such a small percentage of everybody sees everything. Anything that you post that does well now will do well in the future. And I will say anything that does not do well now may do well in the future. So I've reposted a ton of stuff from before that really worked and it still works. And I've posted a lot of stuff that has not worked, maybe changed the heading, maybe changed, the look of feel of it, and it's done extremely well. But again, I'm not doing enough, analytics on all my posts. I don't have like an Excel spreadsheet that I'm saying this worked, that didn't work. I'm just kind of looking and eyeballing it. And then I'll know kind of what did what over the last, 6 months or so. But I'm just so engaged with it every day that I think, I kind of have a good feel, but I probably should get a little bit more, into the professional side of it. But again, I think if I do that, I might become too analytical and start to create content that I think will work instead of just content that I want to do that I think will help.
So to kind of go along with that, going more professional with it, you also have the option when you do TikTok to either be a creator or a business. Are you a business account?
Yeah, I think I'm a business account. The only reason I'm a business account is because you have more tools.
Yeah. There's a couple of call to actions there. I think you can email me, call me.
Yeah, and it's easier to do if you ever. And again, I did it a long time ago on TikTok, but I do it on LinkedIn all the time. If I have something that goes and does well for my audience, I will then go create a small ad, throw $30 behind it, boost it, and then it will go to a huge audience of all the call center titles that I have set up, for that.
Is
So
that on TikTok or is that on?
So I do that on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is easier to do it because of the titles, right? Because I can pinpoint call center, contact center. But that's how I got my 1,000 views as quickly as I did. Is anything that went over, let's say 300 impressions when I was first starting with like literally 50 followers. I would then, throw $20, run it for, $20 a day for 3 days. So $60, and just clicked on to try to get as many followers as I could, because I wanted to get to that 1,000 as quick as I can. Once I got to 1,000, I really haven't done that on TikTok at all anymore. And it's kind of grown. I probably get, I don't know, 5 to 7 new followers a day, something like that. So it's up to like, I don't know, 2,200, 2,300, something like that. And, hopefully I can, that can continue to go. It's gone pretty well because, again, nobody's doing it. And I like when nobody's doing it. It makes just that window a little bit bigger until people figure it out.
Absolutely. And it's always fun to get on when there's nothing out there. It's always fun to be like the grassroots. I guess my last thought when it comes to doing TikTok is, so I know you probably haven't cracked the algorithm yet, and I know you talk about like that 1,000 followers and then growing. For you, what is the end game or the end goal of continuing to make content on TikTok? Like, will there ever be a stopping point, or you're just going to keep doing this till you retire, and maybe even beyond?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if I'm creating content on LinkedIn, I'm going to create content for TikTok, and I'm going to create content for Reels, because it's all kind of in the same. Until, I may shift my, business wise to, if Expedia continues to do well, and, the outsourcing stuff does well, and, maybe who knows, say 5 years, I sell my company. Maybe I shifted to talking fully about, contact center software and technology and the AI piece, because I turn into a consultant on that end and just totally focus on that stuff and less about, training and KPIs. I mean, that would be really the only thing. Like, how do I help now my new niche of kind of where I'm at? But I don't really see, I'm trying to get better at this without getting professional. Like, I want to just have my camera, have this out and be talking like this as I'm walking. Like, I don't want a set or a stage or, I don't know. It's not how I feel like it's, and I want to just talk when I want to talk. Like, I think the best stuff that I have is an idea comes into my head, or somebody asks me a question, and I literally walk over to the corner of my office and, create a 2-minute video or a 30-second video. That stuff's awesome. Like, if it gets ever hard, I think that's when I would, that would mean I would be out of the business. Like, I'd be doing something different, because again, I don't want to think about what I have to create every day. Everything is just, it literally is organic in how it comes to me. Even the podcast, like, I will go into like this week, I have no idea what the hell I'm going to talk about. But something will spur something from either what I'm doing or like, wow, that will be really cool. But there's very little, pre-planning or thought. And that's why, like, it's paralysis by analysis, right? And people talk about that so many times. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about either, but I'll figure something out. And I think that's the best stuff, that actually comes out. Because it's genuine, and I'm not making it up. I'm not like researching a lot of stuff. So I don't know. Like, it's good, could be bad, but so far it's worked.
Cool. Well, that's really cool. And hey, listen, I really appreciate you just kind of taking the time to have this impromptu chat. I know there wasn't like a real goal. It was just kind of like hey, I love what you're doing on TikTok. I'm trying to get into the space. What are some like good pointers? But it's also, I want to recognize as well, I know you don't like to say that, you don't like the term influencer, but I would absolutely call you a thought leader when it comes to all things contact center. Just because when I started out, and I think I told you this too, when we first had a face-to-face meeting, I listened to the advice from Contact Center Geek and just followed like your LinkedIn. And was like, wow, like this is amazing. And that's what I consider thought leadership, right? Thought leaders are never self-identified. They're always identified by their following. And I would absolutely consider you like a thought leader in this.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'll tell you what, not having an idea, this could be, I mean, since I'm recording this, at least right here on my phone,
Yeah.
this might be this week's Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast as well. So you might have walked into one there.
I love it. It's so spur of the moment and impromptu. It definitely fits you.
For sure. All right, buddy. Well, hey, if I can ever help you in the future, please let me know and keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Will do. And you do the same exact thing, all right?
All right, buddy. Good talking to you.
Cool. Thanks,
Bye.
Tom.